This is just out of curiosity, but what keeps people in the UK? Why do you continue and want to live in the UK?
Cost of living is hitting Asda hard. Look at this. Chicken thighs, $5.69. $5.69.
Cost of living is extremely high, food prices have gone crazy, people have less money for holidays and to do pleasurable things, and everyone is depressed. The UK is becoming, worse and worse as time goes on.
Extortionate prices on shopping, the ridiculous things on tax.
Okay, you've got everything going up and yet people are barely making ends meet.
There are people out there who can't afford to put the basics of food on the table for themselves and their children.
If you look at the average person has one stream of income, and the average person is suffering, especially in the UK.
This is not fair for the citizens of this country who work their whole life off, their off every day.
Greed is ruining everyone's life in this country. Everybody is ruined.
We're in a cost of living crisis. So we make everything expensive. Everything. But we don't increase the salary.
I cannot believe that anybody would choose to live in the UK right now. Let's be honest, it is not a nice place to live.
Like, what the actual
Welcome back to Brit Rants, where we call out the circus that is modern Britain. It's 2025, and the truth is simple. You can do everything right in this country and still not afford to live. This is part 5 of the cost of living crisis, because the misery just keeps going. You wake up, go to work, pay your bills, and somehow you're still broke, can't afford rent, can't afford food, can't afford to exist. Meanwhile, the politicians are too busy playing PR games and lining their mates' pockets to even pretend they care. They say inflation's down, they say things are stabilising, but on the ground, it's hell. Families skipping meals, pensioners freezing, nurses using food banks, and the middle class? Mate, they're finished. This isn't a crisis anymore, it's a collapse. And the people of Brits, they're not having it. Today, we're reacting to the rawest clips from the front lines of Britain's downfall, straight from the mouths of those living it. If you're sick of being lied to while you suffer, subscribe now, because we're done sugarcoating. Let's blow the lid off this mess.
What the F is going off in the UK? You've got people out there still working full-time jobs, still struggling to pay for all the bills. You've got people on benefits, either because of medical stuff, mental health, or because of whatever their personal reasons are, okay? You've got everything going up, and yet people are barely making ends meet. People working full-time jobs that are considering or even potentially have gone and got another job just to try and cover the money. You've got car insurance, you've got, food shopping going up, you've got clothes shopping, you've got gas, you've got electric, you've got everything going up. So in my opinion, if they're raising the price of everything, they should be raising benefits and the pay rate. But that's just my opinion. If you agree, show some love and repost.
I'll tell you something. They are taking the absolute mickey out of everyone who lives in this country. Great Britain, the UK. On the news again today, the cost of a pint is going up, with the average cost being above £5. It's to pay for national insurance increases, wage increases. These places just won't be able to stay open if they didn't increase the prices. It's nothing to do with them. The Mersey Bridge, or the Mersey, whatever, the bridge that you cross to go into Liverpool, or the other bridge, or the tunnel, all them prices going up this week. How? Why? They make an absolute fortune on that bridge. Greed is ruining everyone's life in this country. Everybody is ruined. There's no fun. They're stopping you from having any fun at all. They're just charging you for absolutely everything. It's time to move. Get over to Spain. €150 a pint.
Cost of living is hitting Asda hard. Look at this. Chicken thighs, $5.69. $5.69. Asda's own chicken fillets, $6.19. $14.95 for a bit of beef. $14.95. And these, look at this salmon, $11.40 for Asda own. Butter, £8, $7.30. It's insane. These chocolate bars were £1 last year, $2.87 today, Sunday. And coffee, talk about blow your mind, literally £6, £7, £8 for coffee, instant coffee. It's crazy. And if you want some frozen fries, cheap as hell, £3, $3.30.
You will own nothing and you will be happy. That is a prediction made for 2030. Now, have you noticed how all of a sudden everyone's getting these PCP car deals pushed on them? So you lease a car that, you know, you don't own it, and they're trying to sort of stop people owning their own cars. They're trying to encourage you to lease them. Have you noticed how house prices over the last 20 years have got extortionate? More and more people are having to rent. They've got nothing to leave their children, and even the rents are now getting out of control, and people have less money. Cost of living is extremely high. Food prices have gone crazy. People have less money for holidays and to do pleasurable things, and everyone is depressed. Well, can you blame them? No, I don't. I think the UK is becoming, you know, worse and worse as time goes on. Has your life really been affected by this? Are they trying to change the way we live? Is it all a conspiracy? But do you think there's something in it? Let me know what you think in the comments, guys, because something in this world just ain't right at the moment.
Guys, I've got it. We're in a cost of living crisis. So we make everything expensive. Everything. But we don't increase the salary.
OMFG, you're such a genius.
Okay, good idea, genius. Furthermore, why don't we make the average housing price in London £100 million?
1 bedroom, 1 living room. £100 million. So it takes people in this economy
1,000 years for them to buy their own house. Genius, mate.
Yo, in this economy, can you even survive on one stream of income? Me personally, I just feel like you cannot do it. If you look at the average person has one stream of income, and the average person is suffering, especially in the UK. Now, the people that might disagree might be very young, might live at their parents' house, for example, might not have many bills. So for them, yes, you can survive on one stream of income. But I'm talking specifically about people who have responsibilities, who have bills to pay. How hard is it now? And trust me, you guys need to start opening your mind into starting other things, starting things on the side. Don't make your one income the end all, because I promise you it's going to get tougher and you're not going to be able to survive soon. If you're thinking of a business to start, a side hustle to start, or you're thinking of an extra way of making money, my advice is go and do that. Because trust me, yeah, you might not make money in the start, but trust me, at least you're doing something that could make you money in the long run. Because I'm telling you, surviving on one stream of income in the UK, the way things are, how expensive things are, you gotta think smarter, you gotta learn new skills, and that's the way you gotta approach things, because things are going to become harder. So think about that the next time you think you can only survive on one stream of income.
I just want to say something really quickly. Forget about the internet for a minute, okay? Forget about all this personal beef on TikTok, because it ain't half as bad as what is happening right now in real life. Do you know who the scammers are? Do you know who the con artists are? Do you know who the ones that are manipulating us right in front of our eyeballs? And that, may I add, is the UK government. You have just dug a hole for thousands of people. Do you know what? There are people out there, and I feel so bad because I wish that there was something more that every one of us could do for everyone else. There are people out there who can't afford to put the basics of food on the table for themselves and their children. There are people working jobs, hours upon hours each week, just to afford to pay their bills and to put the basics on the table. And even then, they can't afford to do it because there are people out there now who are getting into thousands and thousands of pounds worth of debt. There's a housing crisis. No one can get housed, and the private renting sector is beyond a joke. There's no mental health services whatsoever. There are people out there who are really, really, really struggling and cannot even get the help that they need from the NHS or from the basics of their GP services. And now they're attacking disabled people and our children who truly need the help and support that they get. It's hard enough now, okay, and it's been hard enough in the past to fight for what is right for our children and to fight for what is right for people who have disabilities in life. Don't get me wrong, I get there are people out there scamming the system. We all know there are, but there are genuine people who need the help, who need the goddamn support. It's not about the money, okay? People in life just need the basics of stuff to get by. They're the ones scamming you and they're the ones manipulating you, and it's everywhere for people to see. You just need to open your eyes, literally need to open your eyes to what is happening right now in this world. And those people are the ones that I feel sorry for. I don't feel sorry for none of you tossers on the internet that are sit there having personal beef with each other because you think you're going to get one up on each other, because you're going to out personal information about each other. Do you know what? Get because none of you, and I mean none of you, would put your hands in your pockets and help those who truly need it, because you're all a bunch of
This is just out of curiosity, but what keeps people in the UK? Why do you continue and want to live in the UK? I woke up this morning, the weather is just diabolical. The extortionate prices on shopping, the ridiculous things on tax. This is a 4x4, and within a year, like next year, it's going to double. There's no point in me even ringing the doctors to go about this, because by the time I'm able to get in, it would have cleared up by then. Struggle for work, the struggle to maintain work. I don't see why people would want to move to the UK. I always said I'd never leave the UK. I'm booking myself stupid little holidays like every other month, it seems like lately, just to get out of the UK. Tell me why you stay, because I just cannot wait to go.
I mean, are people supposed to be remortgaging their houses, getting bank loans out to take kids out during school holidays these days? 4 kids in Jump, an hour and a half, £84. 4 kids in a cinema, by the time I got them the drink, little bag of sweets, nearly £100. Like, what the actual Taking a picnic out these days would probably cost you 50 quid. It's just a joke.
It's been reported today that 48% of social housing in London is occupied by foreigners. Social housing was put in place in the early 20th century to provide affordable homes for individuals/families who struggle to find affordable housing in the private market. So people that are medically retired, single mums, you know, people that can't afford on their own to get out on the housing market, that is what social housing is for. However, it's come to light that nearly half of London's social housing has gone to foreign nationals, and you can bet that a lot of those have arrived into this country illegally or within the last couple of years. So life's tough out there. It's hard to put money aside for a house. It's hard to privately rent, especially if you're on your own or with kids, etc., etc. And social housing was put in place for that reason, to help you, if you're struggling, to help you. But if you fall short, if you need help, just know that half of the social housing in your own capital city has already been taken up by foreign nationals. So you could work your whole life, you could pay tax, you could fall short. You might need help from the government, the country that you've always worked for, you've always loved. But I tell you now, you're more likely to be on that waiting list than a lot of these people coming over. And I just don't see a way that this is fair. This is not fair for the citizens of this country who work their whole life off, their off every day. Now, to get social housing, you need to be paying near enough zero tax. No tax or very, very little tax, because then you can prove that you cannot afford to privately rent or privately save to buy a house. So the people, the 48% of this social housing is by foreigners who are paying little tax or next to nothing in tax. Does that seem fair to you? Whilst you're going to work every single day, grafting your ass off to be able to save for a house, to be able to provide for a family. But it's okay, because you could get on a dinghy, you could come here, you could do cool work your whole life, pay zero tax, but don't you worry, the UK government's got your back, you got a house. This is so
I cannot believe that anybody would choose to live in the UK right now. Let's be honest, it is not a nice place to live. It's toxic. The crime is astronomical. The quality of life is in the gutter. It's just not, the work-life balance is just horrendous. Since we moved from the UK to Australia, our life has changed tremendously. We're less stressed. We've got more energy. We're doing more social activities than we've ever done before. And it's just because our life here is better. A lot better. Our jobs are better. It's higher pay. The cost of living is less here. We've just been to breakfast with some friends, literally overlooking the beach. And here we are having a stroll. It's just a completely different beast. If you're one of those people that are sat in the UK right now, a little bit lost, thinking, I hate it here, it's horrible, what are you waiting for? Just ask yourself, what do you want? Why are you waiting to get out of that horrible place when you've got this? You've just got this waiting for you with way less stress. The people are lovely, really welcoming, and your life will improve tremendously.
So I've just cancelled my TV licence, my water bill, my energy bills and my council tax bill. So you might see me next in the clink, but I know a lot of you will come and visit me, but I ain't paying them. They can piss right off. Yeah. I'll probably shit myself and let her come through the door, but what are they going to do? Shoot me? Have to catch me first? I'm like a whippet. I meant to say as well that I won't be spending the money. Obviously, I'll be keeping it. I'm not refusing to pay. I'm just withholding payments till they can prove to me where my money is being spent.
If you live in the UK, I do not know how you are supposed to survive right now. I really don't. So I've just gone to Sainsbury's, right? And I know people are like, oh, you can go to Aldi. I've been in Aldi, and either the food goes off quicker, not all of it, but some of it, or it's the same price, because Sainsbury's are price matching Aldi at the moment. It's my place to go. I know where everything is. You know, it's not bargain basement, but I don't think anything is bargain basement now. And I refuse to eat. Like, I just refuse to, like, fill my freezer with that is bad for my kids. So, don't even get started in the comments on that. That's not the point. The point of this is, I've just gone and done a shop for me and my daughter for 3 days. That's it. Just to last us till the end of the bank holiday weekend. And all I have bought is dinners, breakfast cereal, and soup for lunch. So I haven't pushed the boat out. There's no snacks in there. All right, I needed some toothpaste and deodorant, right? But that's normal. That's what you need to live. You need to be able to brush your teeth and you don't want to smell. Even with the discounts, Nectar discounts, all the rest of it, 3 days is 57 quid. And for somebody that wants to justify that, just don't even bother. Because not that long ago, there were 3 of us. And I used to shop for 3 of us. And I used to buy branded because he wouldn't eat the non-branded. And I would do a full week's shopping. I was on a protein diet, so I was buying lots of protein, tins of tuna, chicken, eggs, you name it, it went in the basket. And that would cost me 130 quid to feed 3 people for a week. And less than 3 years later, I can't even get through the absolute basics. People always ring at the most inappropriate time. I'm having a rant here. And that was nearly £60. Nearly £60. So if we math that out, that's 120 for 2 people, plus another day, and that doesn't include any of the other stuff that I used to buy, which was cleaning products, like laundry stuff, toiletries, like you name it, on like eye level shelf, because that's how they price things. If you don't know, go down the bottom if you want the cheap shit. It's on the floor. They don't want you to find it. What is going on? What is going on? How are we supposed to survive this? Our wages haven't gone up that way. Like, I just don't know how. I've got 1 kid, like 1. What if you've got 3 or 4 children? Like, what are you eating? Where are you shopping? Are you growing your own food? Like, what is going on? It is utter mad.
Everyone's depressed. The weather's shite. Everything's expensive. There's literally nothing to do. I want to wake up and see the sea, not crackheads and trash. So seriously, on a level, like, where is everyone moving to? Because I am so down. I will. Because my whole For You page is women talking about how much they hate living here.
Time for a rant about the UK economy. I just handed in my notice at my full-time job as a receptionist because I cannot afford to live in London on my current 24 grand salary, which is lower than the London living wage. And in response to my notice letter and a nice email I sent them stating that I just cannot, like, it's nothing against the job, I just can't afford to live on my current salary. My employees came up to me this morning and was asking me if there's anything else that they can do And I was like, well, the only thing you can really do is, like, give me a pay rise. And they were like, oh, the wages are going up by 1% or something in August, it is August. So everybody will be getting an extra £40 a month. And I'm sat there thinking, what a bloody cop-out. Like, that's taking no accountability for the fact, like, what I've said, which is I'm leaving because I can't pay my rent on my current salary. And they're trying to convince me to stay because they don't want to train someone else up, and asking if there's anything else that they can do, but without actually taking any action. I just think it's ridiculous. And the effect that that has on young people's mental health. Fair enough, we don't have the responsibilities of like a family with kids, but there's so much pressure on us to like be building our careers and have a social life and just like be good working people, but we get paid. And I just think we don't talk about financial stress enough. Like, we talk about self-care, mindfulness, yoga, like whatever, but we don't actually talk about the things out of control, which is how expensive it is to live. And in a city like London where, you know, we'll go and do a master's and then we're expected to find work, but then it's so competitive, like the industries, and then you've got to move back home, and then it's like, oh, well, you don't have a job, and then it affects your mental health because you're like, I'm 26, like I shouldn't be living at home. And I just think more needs to be done on a societal level to make sure that everybody is living comfortably and that 26-year-old adult children don't need to move back home when they're like qualified and they should be able to get a job and not be paid. Run over. Happy Monday.
So I don't usually do this, but I just need to rant, really. I'm actually a bit baffled at what's happened. So obviously cost of living crisis and everything, everybody's really struggling. Bills are going up, price caps going up, all that shit. Which is fine, like that's doable, that's manageable, we can deal with that. What I can't deal with is everything else. All of a sudden, all these companies are coming out of the woodwork. Oh, you owe us this much money. Oh, we paid you by accident, you owe us this much money. Oh, by the way, we're also going to give you a parking ticket for one that you didn't actually deserve or need, but because you haven't got enough evidence, and we know you haven't got enough evidence, we're just going to take you everything you've got because we need the money as well. Okay, sound brilliant, fantastic. Then you've got council tax, obviously. You've got to pay your council tax, so there's no way around that. You've got to pay bills, fine. Now I have a problem. When I go onto my government gateway and they tell me that I should have received a payment of nearly £500 that I've overpaid in tax the year before, they've told me I've received a cheque. No, I haven't. I haven't received a cheque. Right? So I've been trying to call. It's taken a week to get through to them, admittedly, because I'm at work trying to pay my bills. So obviously I can't sit on the phone for 45 minutes because obviously you can't get through to any of these people to speak to them to ask for your money back. So I'm on the phone, 45 minutes, finally get through to somebody to then be told that I've got to wait 3 months to have my money back. My money. That's mine. I've got to wait 3 months for the government to give me my money back. Meanwhile, they've already taken money that I've supposedly underpaid the year before out of my wages, so I can't afford to pay my bills. Stop the world. I want to get off. Honestly, goodbye. End of. Had enough.
I'm so mentally exhausted. From searching and looking and trying to find a flipping property to like rent out. Like, how can I spend like over 2 hours on today? And I've been doing that for the past couple of weeks, constantly trying to find a decently priced property. Not even affordable, because affordable is out of conversation. Affordable is definitely out of the conversation. A decently priced property to rent. There's no like kilometers away in the middle of nowhere so I can make my way to flipping work. And I literally cannot find anything. And then even for the past weeks, the one I've been finding, they're always like, oh, are you full-time employed? Because we don't consider 0-hour contract, which my dad is on the 0-hour contract, making double my flipping salary. Making double my salary, but he's not even considered as an income because it's not guaranteed. I just don't get what the point of all of this is anymore. Like right now, I don't get what the point of this stupid city, this cost of living, this country. Like, what is the point of all of this if we're not even able to live? Like, this city is not built for us to live in anymore. Like, it's literally just trying to kick us out and it's trying to force us out. Like, imagine, I spend so much looking at properties on every corner on the internet, on every flipping website. I was just searching for properties, trying to find something, and then I even like stumbled across these new builds that you see around train stations. These new builds that are like super nice and looks very like community based and all that. And then like the prices go for like £3,000 a month for like a 2-bedroom. And I'm just like, who's affording these prices? Like, who's paying for these prices? Even if I was able to like afford one of those, they wouldn't even give it to us because self-employed clearly is not considered a job, and they don't care about like how much you make because it's not, you know, guaranteed or not, whatever. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm just tired. I think I'm tired. And there was a moment when this whole eviction thing happened at the beginning, but I was like, oh, that sucks. But like, you know, I can see that by this time in 2 months, I'm going to be in a new property all settled and it will be so nice and chill and calm. And now I'm just like, I don't see it. I don't see the end of this whole situation anymore. I don't see it. I don't see an end. Like I don't have an answer. I don't know where to look anymore. I don't know what to do. I don't know who to reach out to. Like, I reached out to the council. Like, you know, when you declare yourself that you're about to become homeless and all that, I reached out to them. They're useless. They literally did nothing. She took some more information and she's like, well, you're not homeless yet. And the landlord has to like give you this and that. And then after that, it's like, I'm like, oh, so you want me to actually be on the streets before you even consider me as anything? Like, I'm telling you now, like, help me find a place. I'm tired. I can't do this by myself. I'm genuinely losing it. I'm actually losing it, and I just don't have it in me anymore. And the time is ticking, whatever, the clock is running out, the time is running out. And I don't know what to do. Nobody's here to help me. Nobody's here to like... I genuinely, I'm lost. I'm very lost right now. And I don't know what to do.
I need to crash out about how expensive everything is. I made the horrible, grueling mistake of going to a Sainsbury's. Never again in my life will I go to such a horrid place. What do you mean? One broccoli is £2, whatever it was. It's mad, isn't it? And it doesn't just stop there. Everything in that shop was expensive. I didn't see a thing for £1. Paying to listen to music, paying for cats. Maybe that's my issue. Shouldn't have got 2. I know. Paying for petrol, paying for the car itself, paying for all the lessons. Let's not get started on the lessons at all, because we will be here a while. Paying for gym, paying to move gym, paying to start gym. This magazine was £5, you know, for the pleasure to read, the pleasure to sing. And I went to a city the other day and it was 40 quid, and that's with a rail card. So I'm lucky. I'm surprised TikTok doesn't charge a subscription fee to have it. Haircuts, money, like a lot of money. So I'm just letting it grow out. People keep saying your hair's long. Yeah, you're gonna have to keep getting used to saying that because I'm not having it cut anytime soon. Glasses, money, and I don't even know where mine are. Money. The countless amount of lip balms that I'm always throwing around my life. Money. Because they're not cheap either. And if you do skimp out and get the cheap ones, you might as well have not bothered because they're And then I find out I've got X amount in my pension. Well, let me have it then. Your agreed date for pension is 20.99. Well, I didn't want that. Why would I want to wait? Or don't get me started on pensions. I might not even get to that point. You know, not that I'm going to off myself. I could be squashed by a plane. I could be ravaged to death by a pack of angry blue tits.
And there you have it. Real people, real pain, and a government that couldn't care less. This isn't just bad luck. This is by design. They rig the system, raise the prices, cut the services, then act shocked when we're angry. And while they cash in on chaos, the rest of us are just trying to survive the week. But we're not stupid. We see it, we feel it, and we're done suffering in silence. So if you're fed up with being gaslit, overworked, and priced out of your own country, hit subscribe. Because here on Brit Rants, we don't stay quiet. We rant, we react, and we remind them we're not going down without a fight. See you in the next one. Until then, stay loud, stay sharp, and stay angry.